In today's art tutorial, a beautiful forget-me-not painting that you can master no matter your skill level. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we are doing a simple forget-me-not painting that is so beautiful in its simplicity. At least I think so. And it's that time of year again. Workshop week is almost here. This is a week-long event taking place June 3rd to 7th, 2024, and it includes workshops or classes from over 40 artists, and one by yours truly, of course. And it's all free. It is totally free. Use the link below to sign up now and come join us for a week of creativity, chatting, chilling, and of course, making. And if you decide you would like immediate and unlimited access to those 40 plus classes, be sure to make your purchase soon. It's only $49, which is crazy. That's like almost $1 a class, but the price goes up once workshop week starts on the 3rd. So make that purchase now or just come for free and hang out all week. There's no purchase necessary.
This is the little watercolor book that I used for workshop week and that we're also going to use today. It has cold pressed 140-pound paper. So what I did is I just took the very first page in the sketchbook and made a beautiful nameplate page. And the workshop itself is all about floral illustration, but also how to trace and transfer your own work. As you can see, we've got some beautiful sneaky symmetry in here, and we've done that by tracing and transferring, and there's no shame in transferring your own work, but definitely go check out Workshop Week.
And that way you'll be able to catch my class on floral illustration. And friends, if you are a patron, this week's bonus content is a coloring page of this beautiful nameplate page that you can transfer or paste into any sketchbook, novel, journal, however you want to use it. Go get that on patreon.com/Shayda Campbell.
Just flipping by some of the recent YouTube videos that you may or may not have seen. YouTube does not always let people know when my stuff is coming out, so be sure to go to my channel homepage for all the most recent stuff like that hydrangea painting, daffodil illustration, etc. And there's always bonus stuff on Patreon, like there's a illustration worksheet to go with that daffodil. Anyways, let's talk about gouache, because that's what we're using today. Gouache is just like watercolor paint, but it's much more opaque. The beautiful thing is you can water it down and use it exactly like you would watercolors. So if you're just starting out with art, I would recommend buying gouache as opposed to watercolors because it can be used both ways. So what I'm doing here is just putting down some color for my forget-me-not. I've got cobalt blue, like a light Naples yellow, a cobalt turquoise, orange lake. I've seen online mixing turquoise and orange to get some really pretty greens. I thought I'd give it a try. There's no harm in just experimenting, and that actually does give quite a nice natural green. I'm going to put a little bit of a darker Naples yellow in there, and I like where this is headed. I'm still going to put some green on the palette. I think that'll just give it a bit more vibrance, a bit more of the vibrance that I'm looking for, but I like to play around with color mixing. And that's something that if you're ever looking for a good exercise where you don't really feel like painting or making something, just some color mixing and doing like a color test page in your sketchbook is a great idea. And it's very low stress, no pressure there. So I'm starting with an angled line for the main stem. And then what we're going to do, I'm using a number 6 round brush, by the way, is we are just going to make some nice natural leaf shapes, and we're going to keep them mostly down here at the bottom. So I just like to run that brush across the page, add a little bit of extra pressure, and then use the very tip of the brush to finish those leaves with the delicate stems and branches that sort of join them all. And then we can come up here to the top, add another little branch or two. I'm adding one last leaf at the base there, and then I want to start mixing up some beautiful light blues for the forget-me-not blossoms. So I'm mixing the cobalt blue with a whole lot of white. And then up here, I've mixed it with a little less white. Obviously, I've got a very light blue and then kind of like a medium light blue, and that is a good place to start. And then the forget-me-not flowers are really fun to paint. You basically go around and paint 5 little circles, leaving a little bit of negative space, if you can, at the center. And I will just grab from both of those blues so that I get some variations in the blossoms. You don't even really have to wash your brush in between. If you have sort of a third blue that emerges because you've got a dirty brush, that's good. They're going to look really natural then, as each one will have its own tint. And what I'm doing is clustering them all up at the top here. And you can see how I did a couple little stems and now the flowers look like they're just popping off of those little branches, and it looks quite sweet. And sometimes I'm painting a whole flower, other times more like half of a flower, just making them slightly smaller or making the bottom petals quite small so that it almost just looks like 3 petals. I also realized I wanted to go right over top of the stem. That would just give this whole illustration or painting a more natural look. And we're going to finish it off by using just the tip of that round brush. That's why we love a round brush. It has that delicate fine tip, and picking up a bit of our green, and we're adding in some more little stems and branches just so that every flower looks like it's, joined to the main plant. Okay, so the forget-me-not is not finished, but what I want to do now is while it begins to dry, I want to create a backdrop. And when we do a really simple painting like this one, it just finishes it and elevates it in such a nice way to create a background. And I think you can get quite addicted to drawing and painting little flowers like this, where it's just a sweet little painted floral illustration, and you give it a nice colorful background, and the whole thing just looks really finished and thoughtful. So what I've done is I've taken a bit of brown, I think that was a burnt umber or raw umber, and I've taken white and just mixed this really, really light beigey color. And we are just going to take a slightly larger round brush, number 8 or 10 would be good for this, and we're going to fill in the entirety of the background. Now my background, it was just feeling a bit too peachy for me, so I mixed a little bit more yellow in there, and then ultimately I actually added a bit of the light blue, and it just helped to kind of make the color a little bit more gray, a little less vibrant. You know me, I like things in the gray, in the gray zone. And what we do is we use our round brush to our advantage. And the round brush, it's got that large belly, so you can add pressure and just do these really big areas of color really easily, like below the leaves and in the corners where we need lots of this brown. But then you can use the delicate tip of the brush to paint all around the flowers, all around the leaves. And you can see my goal is usually to leave just a little bit of a white border between background and subject, between the background and the forget-me-nots. But if you don't quite manage that in every area, that's totally fine. I actually can see some of the brown went right over top of the stem. I'll just fix that up. I'm also going to add a little bit of a darker green to some of these leaves, so I can do all of that at once and get this flower looking good and make sure it's not sort of swallowed up by the background. And then what we are going to do is add some more color to our flowers and really make them pop. So I added a bit of magenta to the cobalt, but you can see I'm still using white to create different tints. So I've got like a really dark, sort of purpley blue periwinkle color, and then a lighter periwinkle color. And I'm just adding a few petals on each flower. So I won't paint over the entire flower. I might do 3 or 4 petals in that periwinkle and then leave the other petals alone. Our piece is almost complete, so just a friendly reminder, go sign up for Workshop Week. It is completely free. You do not have to make a purchase. The entire week, you can jump in anytime and watch all the workshops live, and then you have 24 hours to enjoy them. If you want more time, like you want unlimited access to the workshops, it's only, I think, $48. It's a great price, and go get that now because the price goes way up once Workshop Week starts. And please use my link. It's a great way to support my small creative business. Okay, lastly, I took a little bit of brown, mixed it with that cobalt. Basically, I just wanted a darker color, and I just did kind of these little broken circles at the center of the flowers surrounding the negative space. Put just a touch of light yellowy green on some of those leaves, and that is my forget-me-not all done. Such a simple painting, but with the background, the whole thing looks so thoughtful and sophisticated, and I really think this is a project you can be successful with even if you're a total beginner. Now hit that subscribe button. Go sign up for Workshop Week using my link, please. And patrons, go grab your free nameplate coloring page.